go. All right, we've been avoiding this one. The LGBT.
I knew you were gonna choose that one.
We've been avoiding it.
All right, so this is from an argument I got into somebody on one of my videos. Life experiences versus born that way in regards to adult preferences and gender alignment.
Oh, I'm so interested to hear what Good has to say about that.
Go ahead, Dan. I need to process this a little.
All right. I think a lot of the trending that's been happening lately, because I don't believe half these people who say that they're trans are trans. And I'm sorry if that offends. No, I'm not fucking sorry. If that offends you, fuck you. I don't care. Because you're faking your shit just to feel a little bit more special about your existence. You can be special being a retarded straight person. Just what's the difference? If you're gay, you're gay. You don't have to change your genitals or your 50,000 genders just to, say, hey, look at me. I'm unique. I'm a snowflake. Look how pretty I am. Fuck you and fuck your pretend prettiness.
The gender thing is something I will never fucking conform to, because you're basically just trying to control people. But the life experiences versus born that way, I believe some people are born gay, or some people are born with. Look, listen, everybody has their friend, right? And they have a son. You're like, he's probably gonna be a fruit because he's fruity, does fruity things, right? Sure. There's nothing wrong with being gay. Like, I don't give a fuck about any of that. But this environment now, where literally you can go into a chat room and you get nurtured by this ideology that says, oh, you don't feel you in your body. Well, maybe you feel, something. They're basically being steered into thinking they were born into the wrong gender, when in reality, it's just a kid that realized he wants to suck dick. Go ahead and suck a dick.
Nothing wrong with that.
I don't care if
you're the best dick sucker you've ever been.
Be the best dick sucker you can be. Be gay. I don't care. But life experiences, I believe, if young impressionable boy maybe gets his dick sucked at 10 years old by a creepy other dude, that could imprint a little bit, and maybe I don't know. I mean, how does that work?
Or even the pedophile side. I mean, that's what happens most often. If you're abused as a child, there's a much higher chance that you're going to abuse other people. It's just sad and true.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be like the a lot of like married people, happily married dudes that just end up liking little fucking boys. So would that be? That's not born that way. That's some mental fucking deficiency of something happening to you in your childhood, probably, or you were just born a fucking weird psychopath.
Okay, so I believe somewhere around the means that somebody asked me the question is if there was a guy alone on a desert island and pamphlets of naked men were dropped, and this was a heterosexual guy, would that guy use the naked men as jerk-off material? Could that influence of him being by himself without a woman and only having pictures of guys, could that influence him? Granted, that's a long way off scenario, but if you have a person who has or has not been exposed to something, can the exposure to that cause them to think that it could be a part of their life? So somebody who was formerly heterosexual and then was introduced to somebody that was homosexual, it was explained, and they tried it and realized that they enjoy it, and then it became a part of their life, being a life experience.
You just explained exactly how we thought.
You just explained trans trenders. Maybe someone's a little bit bi-curious. They go into college and they happen to align themselves with other people that happen to fall in that same type of thinking. And for a few years, they think they're a man when they're really a fucking woman.
But then they're being told that they were born that way. That no. You must have been this way all along, or you wouldn't be able to explore that avenue.
And yet you see so many college kids get out of college 10 years later, realize, fuck, I was a dumbass. What the hell was I thinking?
Absolutely.
And there's so many apologists lately. Like, you remember that I've seen a picture recently. I think Shuan had actually put that on her Twitter. The one girl who was like, cis males are scum or something, the shaved head and the black lipstick and the glasses. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she recently posted a picture of herself in this nice bright yellow dress, nice glasses, her hair's back. She looks pretty cute, actually.
Yeah.
And I think it's the rebellious nature of teenagers or early adults that probably are just attention seeking. And they happen to fall into a group that maybe have took on this ideology and don't think, oh, well, I can align with that sort of thing to get attention or to stand out from the others. And then once you hit about 25 and your brain's, fully fucking developed, you're like, oh my God. Everybody looks back at pictures of them in their teenage years and thinking, oh my God,
what was I thinking?
Yeah. Why was I wearing that? Why was I,
I was super weeb in my teen years.
Bronner,
you can grow out of it, so.
Bronner tossed in. Now they are teaching the little kids this shit. That's what pisses me off, and that's what I'm saying is they're giving this life experience to everybody now. They're trying to hand out this innate life experience to everybody, and then saying, well, if you're okay with it, then you were born that way.
These kids haven't even hit puberty. What the fuck do they know about their gender identity?
Right. I think this is a bunch of unfuckable women getting in teaching positions, right? And they're projecting all their fucking flaws onto these little fucking kids.
And it's not like they're all like these unfuckable women are all ugly or something. There's a lot of times that they're normal looking, but they're just fucked up mentally, and they're like, well, no, this is how it really should be.
You see some of the
scare off the men.
I don't know.
Well, they're not all super ugly. I've seen a couple of hot, stupid people.
Yeah, well, listen, I've been to a lot of these rallies and whatnot with a lot of those fucking women. Maybe 1 out of 100 is fuckable.
Oh, I didn't say that.
Okay, maybe 1 out of 100 is a 5 or 6, and I guarantee when she gets a little bit older and she gets a little bit more attention from the males, that fucking haircut and those glasses are coming off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I want to see
Trig
Puff in about 10 years.
Now, I don't want to say that people are not born with certain inclinations, but at the same time,
we're not saying that at all.
I refuse to give in to the fact that life experience doesn't play a larger part of it than being born with it.
I think you could be born gay. I think that, but the whole trender fucking thing, I don't know. Maybe you can be born a female, but at like 12, you think you're a dude and still hold those feelings at 30, 40, maybe, I guess. But they're the outliers and they shouldn't be focused on.
I don't think you should be able to transition until you're the same age of consent for anything else. So, like, say, 21. 21 seems like a good because you've had a few years as, as a teenager getting into the adulthood to kind of address your feelings, try to figure out what the fuck you're really feeling. And then, after 21, yeah, go ahead, knock yourself out. If you want to chop it off and slap it up, just knock yourself out.
Well, the counter argument to that from the leftists would be, oh, you can go die for your country, but you can't live the life the way you want to live it. So it would have to be generally just 18 until you have proper ownership.
I don't think kids are grown up at 18. I don't think you should.
I don't think so either.
At 18 either.
Right?
You need the young kids to fight the wars. Let's be honest.
Well, yeah, they're faster and sprightly, but
and they're more willing to fall down. They're more willing to make that 10-foot jump off the hill. They're more willing to climb that tree and fall out of it.
I give those 18-year-olds credit, though. I think if they have the wherewithal to do it, I think that should grant them certain rights immediately out the gate. Like, once you're done with basic and you're in there, as long as you don't get dishonorably discharged, if you're out within a year, knock yourself out. You are allowed to go do anything that is available in this country to adults.
I had a good discussion with somebody the other day, and we were talking about the, what is that, conscription?
Yeah, conscription, yeah.
Is that what it is? Conscription or conscription? What they do in like Russia, where it's 2 years mandatory minimum armed.
Yes.
Yeah,
conscription. I have a lot of libertarian leanings, quite a few, except the open borders and all that kind of shit. But when I think about the kind of good 2 years of that can do for an individual, I really think something like that might not be a bad idea.
I absolutely agree.
It's great.
I, for the record, was denied my service.
Care to share?
Medical problems in high school that I tried to get away with not telling them, and I signed up and went through for what I wanted to and tested and everything, and then they're like, well, you have this. No.
But I don't mean full on boot camp, but it wouldn't matter if you're flat-footed or you have maybe asthma or something like that. You could serve as a part of the group as a whole as well, as an individual.
Mine was a physical restriction that I was trying to get away with. I've had arthritis for a long time, and they will not let arthritic people in at 18.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about like full-on boot camp, possibly. I'm talking about, learn rules, learn discipline, wake up every morning at 6, respect your commanding officer, all that kind of fucking shit. Which
You can respect
All
your
right,
commanding
you know
officer
what?
or disagree. I think that's a problem liberals think.
I'm going to throw this right out there, and this is going to sound a horrible way to put this, but I'm going to 100% agree. I spent time in prison, and in the prison structure I was in, it was a boot camp structure for me to get out quicker, to serve my nonviolent time as quick as I could and get done. In that boot camp structure, when I left, I, to this day, more than a decade later, still use a lot of what I was taught in that to live my life. And I wish I'd have gotten it out of the Army years before, because maybe then I wouldn't have ended up in jail for doing the wrong thing.
Well, it gives people structure that don't have it.
Yeah.
A lot of people that fall into this sort of category are young, wild, adolescent teens, or maybe they're latchkey kids that never really had any good direction. So they're the feral kids you see out in like Chicago now, fucking killing each other in mass. Now you shove those fucking guys into like a 2-year type of fucking program where they got to learn respect of yourself more than anything, and the respect of others.
You don't respect anything else. It's just how it works.
Absolutely, and all that goes along with waking up at 6, making your bed, doing shit as a fucking group.
Realizing that you are not the most important thing of anything, that you have to abide by certain rules to get by on what you want to do.
Delayed gratification. Delayed gratification is
right.
Work for it, and then what you get, you appreciate it more. Promise you.
Oh yeah. Oh, I've said that 100 times.
Especially when the structure there is to take everything away from you first and build you back. I'm speaking both prison and boot camp. They take everything away from you and build you back up. And it's...
Nigga, I've been to prison.
Yeah, it's not cool, but it does teach you something.
It's only 2 weeks, but still, I get what you're saying.
Well, as far as prison goes, I've only got 9.5 months total time served, so it's not like I'm a veteran or anything.
That's still good. That's a good chunk of change.
Yeah, I ain't no year-long veteran. I managed to, because I didn't do anything seriously wrong, I didn't kill nobody, I didn't stab nobody, I just gave them something to make themselves feel better. I managed to get away with an easier charge, which meant that I didn't have to serve the whole term of the charge.
Well, there you go.
So
yeah, I think that's why you know what I mean, like the Russians. They're do you guys ever meet any
actual Russians? Yeah, I have a friend Yuri that I've talked to for years, but he's been off the grid for a little while, so I'm wondering if he didn't get in trouble.
Aren't they the most terrifying white people on the planet?
Dude, they are quiet and leering. Like they walk into a room and you can tell from moment one, unless they got a drink in them, they're stone cold. No matter what they're doing.
Do you know they don't have a word? Oh my God, my Russian. I made friends with a guy named Sergei Bachkarev when I was 19. Came over here from Russia, and I used to help him with his English. He spoke fairly fluently, but he didn't understand a lot of slang. And him and I became friends because a lot of the slang here doesn't really translate the way the vernacular, the way people speak. So him and I became good friends over the course of a few years, and he would just sit there. Oh wait. I had a point here. There's no word for
Russians.
There's no word for sarcasm in the Russian language, meaning whatever you say, you mean.
Oh,
like, there's no like, "Hi, you're a cunt, psych." Like that doesn't exist in the Russian language, as far as he explained it to me. And he didn't understand when people would joke with him because he took every word by its literal definition that he learned in English.
Yep, Yuri's the same way.
And this was a problem for him. Now, him and I are Facebook friends. He lives in Maine now. And now, every once in a while, him and I will catch up and, talk back and forth. And he's joking around, playing around. He's very lighthearted now. But he was a stone cold motherfucker when I first met him. Like, he was terrifying. And he wouldn't even do anything. Like, he was just fucking sitting there with his steel blue eyes, just looking like Ivan Drago and shit. Like, they're scary fucking white people.
I have to say, the only time I've ever even interacted with a Russian has to have been at a bar. So I don't have the same experience.
The stereotypes.
I do.
They're fun people and shit, but
I do know.
Best friends too. I mean,
in high school, I had a half Czech, half Russian friend, and I will tell you, as far as going to a bar, you don't want to pay their tab. I picked up a
tab. That's a bank loan.
I picked up a 30 case one night and invited a couple of buddies over, And I thought, yeah, I'm probably one of the heaviest drinkers here. I'll take out a 12-pack in about 2, maybe 3 hours. He sat down, and in the first hour, half of the first 12-pack was gone. I'm looking at him like, are you serious? He's like, this is water. What else do you got? It's like, I've only got like 3/5 bottles back here, and I'm not breaking them all out that early. But yeah, he cleaned out a 30-pack in a matter of like 5 hours.
If there was ever a land invasion and it was Russians, I think we'd almost be done for.
Oh,
yeah. in a joking manner. Like, obviously, our military would fuck them up. But I'm saying, like, if just a million Russians came into Pennsylvania and started fucking kicking everybody's ass, I think we'd lose.
They'd push pretty far before we finally figured out that it wasn't a fucking joke.
Yeah, they probably would.
We'd be staring at their women the whole time. Jesus Christ, they're hot.
Oh,
those Eastern Bloc bitches. Oh, Jesus Christ. Hot as fuck.
All of a sudden, you start hearing this in the background.
Dude, they're fucking. Oh, dude. So hot.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's kick off of this one. I think I'll round it out at about 11 o'clock today. So we'll throw a few more on there.
Starting to think about that.
Get a whole new board going.
I already used all my
all your fun ones?
all my mental capacity.
Yeah.